And we're live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Libertarian Party of Texas Candidate Highlight. I'm Amanda Gibbs. I'm the comms director. My co host is Nathan Polsky, and he does everything that you can think of in our party. And we have Nolan Schmidt here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for being on. So, Nolan, you're running for County Commissioner Precinct 1 in Guadalupe County. So,
That's
for,
correct.
for everybody who doesn't know, where exactly is Guadalupe County?
So Guadalupe County is located uh, east of Bexar County, where San Antonio is,
Okay.
and right and right above it, there's both Comal and Hayes,
Okay.
and it's very small rural county, pretty much.
Okay, so rural county east of San Antonio.
Mhm.
All right, cool. All right, so Nolan, I know you a little bit. Amanda, I think, knows you very well as well. But to all of our viewers out there who may or may not know who Nolan Schmidt is, who are you and why are you running?
First off, I'm a independent filmmaker. I'm also a substitute teacher, and I've also published children's books. I'm I've decided to run because I really care for my county. Um, our county has been promoting for being fiscally conservative, and I feel that along with that we could do more. I originally ran for county judge in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and that race was a two-person race. It was just me and the incumbents. Um, I didn't get it, of course, but I ended up getting 27% of the vote, and because of that, it took me a while. It took me some time to decide if I wanted to run for office again or not. And after talking with several members of the county party, which I'm also the vice chair of, I decided to run again after hearing that the current commissioner for Precinct 1 was going to be retiring at the end of the year. So this is going
Ooh.
to be all new people, pretty much. It's
So there's
open.
no incumbent in the race. Those are the best opportunities for people to run because you don't have to worry about somebody who's been in office for years or decades, even in some of these cases. So is this again another two person race, or is there a third person this time?
Sadly, this is going to be a three-person race, which this will be the first time I run in a three-person race.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a Republican candidate, Jackie Ott, and then there's the Democratic candidate, Naomi Alnice. I think I pronounced her name right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's me.
Right. Nolan Schmidt, which is obviously the superior candidate.
I have to give like major kudos to Nolan and the rest of Guadalupe County because they weekly are featured in their local newspaper where they have a Republican perspective, a Democrat perspective, and the Libertarian perspective every week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're like really good articles. So anybody want to check that out and see Nolan or Darren, and I think there's some one or two other people that write for that.
Yeah, there's also Anthony Cristo. Um, and then sometimes there's a few other people that try out. I know that another member of ours, Chad Hale, has written some columns here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and we are definitely happy that we're able to talk about the libertarian view on in our local paper. Like it's very lucky, and it actually all started with Roslyn Leone Ross Leone the third. He was actually the first writer, and then after a while, I joined in. We're the only we're the only column section in the paper where we have multiple columnists, and we we all get together and it's like, okay, who's going to write this week's paper? Who's going to write this week's column?
That's pretty awesome. I
And
wish.
they've done really good growing their party from last time to this time. Like it's significantly grown. So good
Yeah,
job,
I'm just trying to think
guys.
of like, okay, I know that there's a couple local papers here in my county. Is it a countywide paper or is it like a specific to a town?
It's countywide.
I don't know of any countywide papers in my county, but now I'm gonna have to go look into that, and I might have to knock on y'all's door to say, okay, how do we do this? All right, so running for county commissioner, we've talked to some candidates who are running for statewide offices. We've talked to some candidates that are running for House. We've talked to one for state senate, and then we've talked to a number that are running for congressional. And of course, each one of those positions, you have different roles. I'm always been a fan of running locally, which county commissioner is pretty darn local. And it's a completely different set of job duties than someone who's a House district or someone who's running for a congressional. So, Nolan, when you win, not if, but when you win here, what are your top three priorities that you as a libertarian can bring to county politics?
So I have like out with my campaign. I actually pretty much expanded the same issues the same issues and stances I had with my county judge race. First one is I definitely want to keep Guadalupe County in a fiscally conservative stance. Recently, Guadalupe County was given a surcharge from the voting program that they were using, and the company wanted to give a $17,000 surcharge, and but thankfully they voted to end the contract and not pay that surcharge and with a different program, which that's what I like. I
Mm-hmm.
even wrote to the commissioners court, each of the commissioners as well as the county judge about this, about as a concerned citizen about this, and but I also want to try to encourage the to work together with the commissioners to work in a program that can also help lower taxes even more by incorporating a a voluntarism system where people by their own by their own choice and decision to donate money to big projects. So for example, like kind of like there's this big project you want to do. It'd be kind of like that of like crowdfunding, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of you, instead of getting people's tax money to use it, instead and also on deciding if this project should happen or not, it would be like Kickstarter or GoFundMe, where it's like it has a goal amount, and the citizens decide, hey, well, citizens would decide like, hey, I want this to happen, and
Mm-hmm.
they decide to by their own choice donate money to this project, and if it gets enough money, the project goes. It's we it's and I even would say like even like companies like local businesses or local businesses in the area could do the same thing. Like this business, like this would help us. We'll get some of our money together and donate it
Mm-hmm.
to here. It would be a it would be a win-win situation right there. For that way, it's like we can lower taxes, but it would be more of a system where it's like people decide what projects will happen than just having just a small group of people decide what projects to fund and everything else without without the big consequences of people saying, "Oh, why was that passed? I didn't do that."
Yeah. So lowering taxes for everybody in the county, and then letting the voters or not even voters at that point, letting the residents decide, do I want this project? Is it a beautification project? Is it a new road? Is it a new park? Let them decide where their money goes. I'm in for it. Let's do it. Sign me up. Can we do this statewide? I would love to be able to choose where my money goes.
Oh yeah.
Voluntary.
Voluntarism, exactly. You don't need the government to tell people what is needed and then ram it down your throat afterwards, right?
Right? That's simple.
Well,
Another. Sorry.
go ahead.
So one of the other stances I have is I want there to be protections for small businesses. I was born in a family that ran a small business, like very start. My parents, long time ago, used to own a very small bar and dance hall. During their first year of owning it, I was born within that first year, so I kind of lived with small business. And then after they sold it, they had an RV park. And then last year, they sold the RV park and went into retirement. Um, of course, the big factor of them selling their park was what happened with the lockdown with COVID and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. And there are some cases where there were businesses that were so affected that they couldn't even last throughout the pandemic, so they had to close down.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the issues I had was if we're a conservative county that wants to keep small businesses up, because my big belief is small business is a big cornerstone in Guadalupe County. It has and always will be. We still have more small businesses coming in every year.
Mm-hmm.
And what would happen if another pandemic happens? We got to make sure that these small businesses don't don't aren't targeted by all the stuff on the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing all what happened with federal level, there's that meme of like The Simpsons where it's like, um, baby Lisa has those building blocks and it has like years of building business and everything else, and then here comes Bart representing the government lockdown
Mm-hmm.
causing just small business go.
Yep. Yeah, I think I know several counties in Texas kind of handled it differently. I saw some that were like full lockdown, whatever the federal government says, we're going to follow through with it. Harris County, Dallas County was a big one as well, and then some of your more rural counties and some of the more conservative counties were definitely like, "Nah, we're not doing that." So, so as a county commissioner, so you don't get the final say in that. That's the judge. Um,
Yeah.
but you would have leverage to go to that county commissioner and say, no, we don't want a lockdown. We don't want to do these things that the federal government is saying that we have to do because we're our own county.
Yeah.
Like, leave us alone. Smaller government, the better.
Exactly.
And then finally, my this one's a means a lot to me because outside of my work, I've worked with this community. I have friends in this community. I want to try to do a special outreach. Want to create an outreach program for individuals
Mm-hmm.
who have special needs. Because one of the things is this is a group that's sometimes ignored
Mm-hmm.
by and sometimes like the state doesn't really do its job like they try to say they're doing, and sometimes they rely on these organizations that say they're supposed to help and they don't help.
Mm-hmm.
My I have a good relationship with several nonprofits that help out families with children with disabilities, as well as other and also adults with special needs. And I what I want to do is, along with the county other county commissioners and the county judge, work on a outreach program together with the nonprofits, kind of like a who do I contact? What which nonprofit can I contact that can help my family, help
Mm-hmm.
show me how to what I need for my child, what I need for my child with special my special needs child. Either they have autism, Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
There's like so many of the special needs disabilities out there. And one of the other things I want to also work with is a campaign is a initiative campaign with local businesses that are looking for employers and kind of like an encouragement incentive of them hiring special needs adults looking for work because I want to do like a program kind of like that of like the Americans with Disabilities that where they get tax breaks. We're
Mm-hmm.
have we're having the employees that have special needs because you have like big companies like Walmart and AGB and all these other companies that do get these tax breaks through the ADA. So why can't we do that countywide
Mm-hmm.
with local businesses? That would actually help out.
Yeah, that would be some sort of property tax break then at that point.
Oh yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah, I know as soon as you start talking to businesses and say, we want to charge you less per year on your property,
Mm-hmm.
that if I was a business owner, where do I sign up? What do I have to do to pay less taxes on this property? Because I know, once you start looking at a several million dollar, you know,
Mm-hmm.
building, $7 million building, that's not cheap to pay for each year, and that starts to add up. So uh, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, there's already like one business in Seguin called the Brick. They sell fire oven pizzas, and the owner has has actually employed a couple of my friends who are autistic and everything, and I gotta say they make really good they don't just make really good pizza, but they uh, they work with my friends really well, and that's the one thing that made me go to that small to the pizza place more than
Mm-hmm.
the other pizza places because I used to go to Marcos and or Pizza Hut, but now I go to the Brick to get my pizzas now.
Well, and to anybody who doesn't know, that's libertarianism, right? That's a free market.
Hmm.
You have a business that has something that you want, that you value, so you're going to take your dollars there instead. So, to anybody else that's watching, that's libertarianism. That's voluntarism. That's whatever you want to call it, free market libertarianism. That's what it means. So that's what we want.
Okay, so Nolan, how do you plan to engage with and represent the diverse interests of your constituents when you are elected?
Not if, when.
Well, pretty much. I know. When that whole when I mentioned about that surcharge earlier about me contacting the uh, the commissioner's court. That's one of the first things I'm going to. I highly encourage in my column that with issues like that, with any issues, contact your your commissioner, and
Mm-hmm.
even a judge. I'm willing to be the person who listens. And one of the things, like, I'm also as many of the people in LP Texas know, I'm also a member on Slack. And one of the things I tend to do a lot is I tend to be more of the listener
Mm-hmm.
than than anything else. I like to hear both sides. I like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open. I'm all open ears to to the issues, and that what helped me make a better decision on what happens. And I'm even willing to even host events at local places to even have the residents talk to me about their concerns too.
Mm-hmm.
That way I show, hey, I'm here to listen. I'm here to help you. You're it's what you want for this county that where I'll come in and
Mm-hmm.
listen and make and try my and do my absolute best to work with the other commissioners and the county judge to make it happen.
So it sounds like some sort of like town hall that you could regularly host where you can
Oh
invite
yes.
your constituents out.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
no, we've talked, like I said, we know we've talked with other candidates as well, and a recurring theme is they try reaching out to their current representative, whether it's House, congressional, whatever. They leave a voicemail, they send an email, they don't get a response. They're basically, once those people are elected, they don't hear anything back from anybody. So yeah, I got elected. Hey, congratulations. So sounds like you're wanting to change that. The I know there's you're not running against the incumbent, but have you run into that when in Guadalupe County with maybe some of the other commissioners or the judge where they don't respond, or have they been pretty responsive?
Um, a few of them have been pretty responsive. Uh, actually, like about a week or so ago, I did call the current county commissioner for precinct one, Greg Seidenberger,
Mm-hmm.
um, and within that day, he called me back, and we were able to talk about some of the some of the issues here and there, and I and concerns that we both had,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it came to this election year, because especially with the Texas House race
Mm-hmm.
for District 44, it got really nasty, and even it was like one of the nastiest races that the county has ever seen. And still, it's like we're still there's still like a lot of people not too happy about the result that that happened.
Well, what actually happened there then to make it so nasty?
It was because it was pretty much a whole bunch of mudslinging
Ooh.
between the incumbent and the person running for the nominate GOP nomination,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a lot of letters, a lot of ads, nasty ads, and everything else, and um, it was just a whole bunch of mudslinging, and it was like it seemed like whoever would get it, there would still be like some really bad reacting to it on
Mm-hmm.
one side or the other.
So I I don't I know you talked about it being a three-way race. Have you interacted with them, and what kind of sets you apart from them?
I haven't really interacted with them, but I have paid attention. Have been paying attention with their their pages.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that Jackie Ott, the GOP candidate, she is a lawyer and has also worked with CPS and everything else. She's run for office several times, um, especially especially one against the still the current district judge Bill Old, and I from what a lot of people remember, that one was a really nasty race too. There was a lot of mudslinging on that one.
Mm-hmm.
As for the Democrat candidate Naomi Alanis, I haven't really seen much from her. Um, and because I have seen because they're not really much of like they're using their actual campaign page
Mm-hmm.
to their actual Facebook profile page as their main
Mm-hmm.
campaign page, and there's not that many posts, and like even with Jackie Ott, they're not even posting when I'm doing my best trying to do all the posts and everything else, especially with the current small business tour that I'm doing, where I'm trying to go to all the different small businesses within Guadalupe County, within Precinct One. Um, because I've already been to a couple of businesses here and there in the precinct, and I'm aiming to go through more throughout the summer. And pretty much I've been trying also plan on posting small short videos
Hmm.
discussing some of the issues here and there.
How's the response been with those local businesses? I'm assuming they're pretty receptive when you walk in and say, "I want to lower your property taxes."
There's some where they they like they like the fact that I came in
Hmm.
and introduced myself. I had a conversation with some of the employees, um, and I even partook in some events like
Hmm.
for example, the bar that used to be my parents' bar. They have karaoke nights, and I've talked to some of the customers uh, about my campaign. A few of them actually know me personally and uh, and I even even take part in their karaoke nights.
Yeah,
And
you do. I've seen videos.
and then um, and then the one of the other places I went to that also had an event was the local cigar shop, Big Chief Cigar Company, where got where I did stop by one time, the first time where I stopped in and got to talk to a couple of the employees and bought a couple of cigars, and then they had a big event the following week where they had a special sale on cigars. They had a food truck there and everything else, and I got to spend time with my campaign hat and everything else, and got to spend time with some of the members of the community. Though though there wasn't much talk about the campaign, but we we talked about our some of our love for small business and even our favorite cigars.
Hey, you showed up and you got your name out there, and if the other candidates aren't showing up, I've talked to many voters before where you show up and other candidates have said the same thing. You showed up and the other one didn't. I'm voting for you. That doesn't matter what your policies are. Nobody else showed up to say hi, but you did. You got my vote. So it sounds like then you are pretty active on the ground as far as talking with businesses and everything. Um, how's the rest of the ground game? So have you been out block walking with like residents, or has it been focusing on businesses primarily?
So far, I've been focusing on businesses, but I have been going around asking some of my friends and family about
Mm-hmm.
because I recently gotten my signs, uh, and I've asked to see about putting them out on their property. I've even gotten a couple of businesses that I know. I asked them to see if I can put a couple signs out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm still I'm still kind of working on trying to get some signs out,
Mm-hmm.
especially in some of the other areas, like especially because one of the weird things about Precinct One, it's a big precinct, but the it's the design is very weirdly gerrymandered, where it goes from big and small, and then go up to like a medium size. And
This seems to be a theme that
Yeah.
we have heard in every one of our candidate interviews about the gerrymandering.
uh, Raise your hand if you're in favor of gerrymandering. Yeah, I didn't think so.
and so far I've been trying to go into trying to get some signs in the McQueenie area and even the Guadalupe County part of New Braunfels,
Hmm.
because there's a part of New Braunfels that's in Guadalupe County, and then the rest of it's in Comal.
I mean, isn't your treasurer there?
I, I believe so. I believe so.
Hmm. All right. So a lot of people who run for office are either career politicians or they're heavily involved. That is their goal in life. Um, Libertarians I see are not typically that. They are the more average resident, more average voter. So with that, you typically bring like a different set of skills. So what kind of skills do you bring to the county commissioner role? I know you mentioned you want that fiscal conservatism where you want to keep your taxes lower. Do you bring anything else or any experience or anything else like that?
Oh, I still want to try to, as I mentioned before, I about when I mentioned about how I want to be, how I tend to be more of a listener than a
Mm-hmm.
talker. Like even then, like I want to try to make sure I'm one that will be available, be there to listen,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. No, nothing, no, nothing of saying, "Oh, I sorry, I can't, I'm not going to vote for that,"
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. I want to listen to all sides and try to work out a solution that would work out with all sides.
Mm-hmm.
Um, especially with trying to work out a solution with the other commissioners and the county judge. And I really want to try to, because I know that especially with a very with I know that there's a very weird there, especially with Guadalupe County being a very red county.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to show that I'm willing to listen, and I want to make sure that whatever is needed to be done gets done, and whatever solution is done isn't too costly, and making sure that it's also reasonable on
Mm-hmm.
an extent that it will keep Guadalupe County in a path that because Guadalupe County has been growing in the past years, and there are concerns about where about property taxes going higher
Mm-hmm.
because of growth. And I definitely want to be one that listens to the constituents as well as the other commissioners and the county judge on a solution that would work to keep us fiscally conservative, as well as making sure that we're not um, pulling any moves that, like, because I know there was one issue about eminent domains, an issue which I honestly do not like eminent domain
Mm-hmm.
at all. I believe because to me, having property is like gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's valuable. It has its value, and we have to make sure that if that there has to that you have to make sure that we don't we don't go to that point of doing that, and try to find reasonable ways to try to have road repair without
Mm-hmm.
it costing a lot or taking too long, because there has been cases where where some roads it took a long time to get them done. And I want to try to put out an effect, try to listen and figure out from concerns and ideas from the community as well. No matter if they are conservative, progressive, libertarian, independent, whatever, try to find a solution that would work well in a county that wants to remain fiscally conservative and stay that way.
Yeah, and it's Republicans and Democrats can typically toe that party line
Mm-hmm.
because they're pretty much guaranteed to win, right? So as a libertarian, it's a little bit harder to toe that party line if you when you're elected, because that's a win for starters, and uh, so yeah, doing what the county actually needs and wants, as opposed to just sticking to that party um, platform, which is, I know I think the Texas GOP platform is what, 300 pages or something like that. It's it's pretty lengthy, and I'm pretty sure the Democrats is not much shorter.
Huge compared to our like 8
5 pages.
pages.
Yeah.
I think it's 8.
Yeah, because you don't need a lot of government, right? Nolan, you were saying, you want the residents to choose where their money goes.
Mhm.
And some of those road projects, for example, if the residents want a road fixed, then let their money go to that instead of some pet project that a commissioner wants to
Absolutely.
do.
Absolutely.
Are the rest of the commissioners in Guadalupe, are they all Republican, or is there any Democrats?
This pretty much all, pretty much they're all voted in Republican and everything else.
Gotcha. So when you said it's a red county, it's a red county.
It's
It
a
is. It
very
is
red
red.
county.
Well, so as a libertarian, then running in a red county, strengths are that, again, that fiscal conservatism, which, um, yeah, just beat the Republicans at their own game and be like, look, y'all want to lower taxes, but when was the last time you lowered taxes? Libertarians will lower taxes, right?
For real. So I know that transparency and accountability is a big thing that the people have spoken and said that they wanted. So, how will you ensure that to your constituents?
Whenever I make a decision, I become very open about it, and I
Hmm.
will admit, like, not all my not every decision I make is perfect. It's or and everything else, because I know that not there. Personally, to me, there's no such thing as a perfect decision. There's always going to be a fault and everything, and I have. It's kind of like it's kind of like trying to choose one out of many decisions, and I would be open of even asking of actually talking about that at the at town halls and everything else. And if there is an issue that brings up, it'd be a way for me to work out what how that issue can be fixed, and just letting the constituents know I what my what which way I will vote, and
Hmm.
if something comes up at a concern, that would be something I would think about and openly discuss. I believe in an open discussion for anything
Hmm.
and everything.
I love that.
It,
It's great to have discussions, right?
mhm. Like I don't like one of the things I don't. I have a good friend of mine, and I had a discussion about this. Like one of the things I don't like a lot is when a discussion goes into debate.
Hmm.
And there will be times where someone will try to make it and turn it into a debate and try to do the whole "oh you're wrong" thing and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
like I one of the things is I I want to try to work with a conversation piece that where hopefully that does not happen. I will be open to listen. I'm and open to explain my thoughts and feelings about what's to be voted on and everything else. Either it be with the constituents or in the county courthouse. It's matter. It's like today there should be more open discussion
Hmm.
with both people you agree with and disagree with, and and explain why um, each why certain decisions are made, and that and what could be done on if a decision is made and goes astray, try to figure out a decision that will hopefully fix the problem.
All right. All right. So, for people that are currently in Guadalupe County or people that are outside Guadalupe County, how can they help?
Well, are they going to help with the
Well, how can they
transparent?
help? Sorry, how can they help you with your campaign?
with your
Oh, yes,
campaign.
yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
guess I should have led with that. I'm
Sorry,
sorry. It's in my
that's all
head.
right. That's all right. So, um, with helping out with my campaign, I currently have my website, which is www.nolanhenryschmidt.com. There, I have a donation page where anyone can donate however they want,
Mm-hmm.
either it be through PayPal, credit card, or even through their bank.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, the best way to contact me is through my Facebook campaign page, which is um, www.facebook.com/Nolan Schmidt, the number four, and in Texas.
Okay. All right, and we've got both of those down below. So anybody who's listening and not watching, or is watching, you can see those listed below, so you can't forget those. And I'm sure Amanda will be kind enough to put those links directly in the YouTube description as well.
Yes, at least the website.
At least the website. All right. So I think you got through. Like I had a whole bunch of questions here, and you kind of knocked them all out. You kind of tackled a couple of them, two or three of them at the same time, which is always great. Amanda, did you have any other questions you wanted to ask Nolan or bring up?
No, you asked my last question again.
I'm sorry. Nolan, before we go, do you have anything else that you want to bring up? You want to talk about? I know something that we send some questions that says, here are things we want to discuss. But if there's anything that you personally want to bring up about your campaign, what you're doing, or just anything else going on.
Well, pretty much. Um, Other reasons about me running, I really care for Guadalupe County. I was born in Guadalupe County, lived there, lived in Guadalupe County all my life, and I don't plan on leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I do not plan on leaving. I love it. I love it in Guadalupe County, and I care for my county. I the if I'm elected, I want to help out my county as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm willing to do as much as I can for the county, and I'm not doing it for I'm not doing it for a career. I'm not doing it for anything. It's just I want to help my county. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all I do because Walden County is my home, and everyone has to take care of their home.
Mm-hmm.
It's home is where the heart is, and when you don't have and and if uh and if you don't if your home gets if there's problems with your home, you have to make sure everything is fixed right and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that it stays the way that is comfortable to you. And that's why while with Guadalupe County being a very fiscally conservative county, their focus is on trying to lower taxes and everything else. I'm wanting to help bring that to the table and bring in programs and stuff that won't cost
Mm-hmm.
that won't cost a taxpayer a dollar or anything like that because that money belongs to the taxpayers.
Yes.
It does not it should not be used programs and stuff should not use taxpayer money. If it's to help county residents, it should not cost anything at all.
100% agreed.
I have a personal question. Have y'all decided y'all's 4th of July float
Oh
yet?
yes, we yes. Every year the LP Guadalupe has an entry in the Seguin small town Fourth of July parade, and we're um, one of the things is we're wanting to try since there there's people that don't like the fact that this presidential election is going to be between Trump and Biden.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to try to push support for our the LP presidential candidate Chase Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
We're aiming to try to show people that you have another option for president. It and this and it's Chase Oliver. Where and I know that the other plan is we're planning also putting some of my signs there um, on the float as well to let people know that they have a third option
Mm-hmm.
for if you're in precinct one, you have a third option if you don't like either the GOP candidate or the Democratic candidate.
All right.
Awesome. I love watching the parade.
All right. Well, thank you, Nolan, for joining us this evening. It was a
Thank you for
pleasure
having
talking with you, getting to hear about all of your stuff that you're wanting to do while when elected to county commissioner. Not if,
When
but when. So we'll always, it's always a win with libertarians, it's never an if. Um, so thank you again, Amanda, for co-hosting. For everybody who's watching, Nolan Schmidt, who's running for County Commissioner Precinct 1 in Guadalupe County. His details are in the video below. Stay tuned. We've got more candidates coming up. We've got some more this week that we'll be putting out. And you can always check out the LP Texas, it's the Libertarian Party of Texas. I think it's the full thing on YouTube. Just do a look up on that, and you can see all of the other great candidates that we have running across the state.
there's a whole playlist, you could just
There's,
go through them.
yeah, there's a nice long playlist. I love seeing a long playlist.
So
All right.
awesome. Thank you, Nolan, for coming out this late at night and hanging out with us.
thank you for having me.
All right. All right. Y'all take care now.